From the city lights to the country blue, Woody and Lou got the sports for you. From Boston streets to Kentucky's fields, get ready, folks, for the thrill it yields. Woody and Lou, sports and you, talking games, we love it's true. Every play, every score, let's dive in, it's time for more. Lacing up the boots and calling plays, debates and laughs for all the days. From Fenway Park to Derby Run, sports talk magic just begun. Woody, Lou, sports and you, sideline stories coming through. Every cheer, heartbeat soar, tune in now, we'll give you more. Celtic screams to Wildcats roar, touchdowns, goals, and so much more. Grab a seat, enjoy the ride, Woody, Lou, right by your side.
The views expressed by the hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense, the U.S. government, or any of its agencies. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. No attorney-client relationship is formed by providing this information, and nothing herein should be relied upon as legal counsel. For legal advice specific to your situation, please consult a qualified attorney. Oh, that was a good pop of the top. Braxton, episode 36, Woody Lou, Sports and You, April 12th. The Masters and Mike Vrabel, Dianna Russini, scandal. How are you this Sunday evening?
Got a lot going on this week, Dan. We just wrapped up the 90th edition of Masters with Rory going from unable to being to shoulder the burden of winning a green jacket to winning two back-to-back. So it's a pretty electric weekend.
Yeah, I got egg on my face when we did our very half-ass internet research for Masters picks. I said Rory was going to be in the mix, but wasn't going to repeat as champion. I had Bryson DeChambeau as my pick. He didn't even make the weekend. We're going to get more into Bryson DeChambeau and his conduct at the Masters in a minute, but I thought it was a fantastic weekend of golf at the Masters. The lead changes, who we had like in contention within 5 strokes of the lead on moving day, and then today some really low numbers on the weekend. Super fun 90th edition of the Masters.
Yeah, it was an amazing Sunday. I was on the grill from like 1 o'clock until recently, watching the whole 9 of Rory and all those guys. And even with Rory's double bogey into the bogey, I believe it was, where he dropped out of the leaderboard and gave a chance for Rosie and those guys. Like I still thought down the stretch around like 15 on that there was a world where Scotty needed to get back on the range and get loose, and we might have a playoff situation, which would have been even better for definitely content and TV. But Rory was able to hold on, and I was just excited for the headline of he went from the largest 36-hole lead to giving up the largest 36-hole lead in Masters history.
Yeah, tough Saturday for Rory, and I have the round 3 scoreboard up, and I mean, just some impressive numbers with Cam Young, who is partnered with Rory in the final round, going 7 under. Scheffler going from even to 7 under to be in contention. Saturday moving day was very, very fun.
Yeah, I was able. We've had a crazy week at work and stuff, so my golf intake was a little limited on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday Tried to go to Buffalo Wild Wings again with the family. Was once again turned away because they only had one server on Master Saturday.
The
So
one in
same
Pooler?
Pooler Buffalo Wild Wings is trending all the way down. We were turned away on National Championship Monday and Master Saturday because I had one server working. So
Oh
a
man,
lot of stuff going on behind the scenes of that Buffaloes for sure.
Is that
But
a contender for your Dodo?
it is a contender, but I think you've already kind of teased who actually my Dodo of the week is, but more on that later. Um, no, so we went to this place called B&D's Burgers.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
I'm familiar.
So we went to B&D's Burgers, ate outside, and had it on, and it was a very nice experience. Actually, we had a phenomenal buffalo chicken wrap, blackened chicken.
I know how you are about your buffalo chicken, your wraps in general. So to get an endorsement of Braxton for the wrap, that's pretty good.
And when they gave me the
Going to a
option,
burger place and getting a wrap is an interesting choice.
but when they gave me the option of fried, grilled, or blackened, I knew I was in good hands, and I gladly took the blackened option. It was just the best way to go. But no, so we get to watch the Masters out there in the sun, and it's just the best part of the year. And I wish I was in a situation where I don't want to dime people out and say the friend group, but maybe there's the community to like host a Masters, like get the Masters the Masters box and have all the food and stuff and like do a hosting party. That's definitely on the docket somewhere down the line here soon. I'd like to do that.
Those are super fun when someone orders like from Augusta National, like the host your own Masters party, and you have the branded chips, pimento cheese sandwiches. It's a fun, definitely a fun package. So I hope you should do that next year when you're in Fort Knox. I'll come.
Dan will be there. Uncle Dan will come, and Uncle
I
Dan
will be there.
He will help supply the Azalea.
That's right. So I want to talk though Masters. So the tournament, as always, I mean, top tier of golf, and I think I would say the signature major for professional golf. But I tuned in to the par 3 contest on Wednesday, and I was not happy with what I saw. And I also think that Augusta National and the members were not happy with what they saw. So Braxton, I want to give the floor to you as far as the spectacle of what was going on Wednesday during Masters Week.
When you think of Augusta National, a lot of history there, and a lot of that negative history that came with the baggage that came with Augusta was able to be washed clean with the performance of Tiger Woods throughout especially his younger years. And Augusta appropriately progressed to just this mecca of golf, which it is today. And I think, unfortunately, in the year 2026, we saw it take a leap back to the days prior of Tiger, of the likes in the sense of the pimento cheese and egg salad hats in full force, people going and spending $15,000 on gear to go resell on Facebook Marketplace. People who are so lonely in their lives that they value content more than the family and close-knit attraction, which is the par 3 event, by bringing in comedians with no attraction to the game. And then we're going to bring in has-been WWE performers who were mid-carders at their peak in the World Wrestling Federation back in the mid-2000s to late 2000s. So a lot of negativity, and I think that we're starting to see a downswing in the Augusta. However, like you kind of said, I think the members and the commissioners are starting to see that maybe this isn't what we're trying to go for, and having Dude Perfect come and jump to Shark a couple of years ago has led to this, and they're probably going to tighten their shot group moving forward.
Yeah, I think they're absolutely going to tighten the shot group. The chairman and the members at Augusta. But I am curious your thoughts, like the balance between growing the game of golf, and we have such the rise of YouTube golf, and yet your Dude Perfect doing their trick shots, and then the balance of the tradition and the heritage of events like the Masters, and respecting the history of the game, the traditions there. your thoughts on that, because I think it's an interesting time in golf.
Yeah, and I feel like I usually text you. I think I texted you something pretty radical earlier this week that the sanctity of Augusta is
You did.
completely gone. Yeah, I mean, what is a hallowed ground? But Kaylee and I discussed it today because I brought up my just disdain with these hats that just have sandwiches on them, and the crazy. I mean, they're not crazy colors because they're in line with East, not even Easter, just like spring, like southern preppy Augusta colors. But the Masters is your normal ball caps with the Augusta National logo and the year that the Masters was played, and that's transitioned to these rope hats with the patrons and umbrellas and just random words on it. And it's cheesy, and that's from the rise of YouTube golf and Good and Grant Horvat and Bob Does Sports and all that. I get that. I kind of told Kaylee as I was like complaining, there was a piece of me that just sat back and was like, this just is the way that America is turning. And I can complain about it, but it is what it is. However, I did feel a little bit of, I don't know if joy is the word, but I felt seen that even Augusta National and their members were like, you know what, this is kind of obnoxious as we've kind of changed our branding. But no, it's sad. It's unfortunate. And I don't want to say it's a good old boys club, but everything's just getting a little too cute. Like cute's the word I'd go with here. Yeah. There's a place for cute and there's not a place for cute.
I'm curious how they go about doing that too, because I mean, like for the par 3 contest, like who are they to police who someone is bringing in as like their caddy? I know that's the big event, and it's great seeing like Tommy Fleetwood and his son. Like that was one of the cutest things of all time. Rory McIlroy, his daughter Poppy caddied for him, and that's like a big like family day. Then, as we alluded to, you have Bryson DeChambeau bringing Kevin Hart as his caddy, and he doesn't have kids or a family, so he wants to bring Kevin Hart. Like, who is the members in Augusta to stop Bryson DeChambeau from doing that?
I think here's the core problem: is it shouldn't have to be policed, because there should be a common respect and recognition of this is Augusta National and this is the event, and self-awareness goes a long way. So it's concerning, Bryson's, he's had, I believe it was his father who passed away, and he's not married. I get all that, but something leads me to believe that Bryson has a Uncle Dan in his life, or a friend, right, who's not famous, or a college teammate from SMU, someone that he could be like, hey, like, you want to come experience this with me? But instead he elects for Kevin Hart, who, far be it for me to, ponder how close their friendship is, but I would argue that he probably has people who he's closer with and that don't have the resources or the ability to rub shoulders in those circles as Kevin Hart does, that he could have brought into the fold for an event like that.
And then, I mean, we've heard from me on this show about my trepidation, I guess I will phrase it as, when it comes to the ESPN personalities. And obviously ESPN, they have full coverage of the par 3, as well as the first and second round, and the morning coverage before it gets to prime time on CBS of Saturday and Sunday. So a huge partner of the Masters, and they're sending their workhorses of Jason Kelce and Pat McAfee to loud and big personalities who I have argued have jumped the shark. And I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it goes in line. I was upset with Bert Kreischer doing his little bit at Oracle Park. So if I'm mad about a comedian doing something at opening day in San Francisco, you know how I feel about those two personalities being on coverage for the par 3.
Yeah, with ESPN, I get it. Like you have popular personalities, and I mean Jason Kelce, he's a fun dude, like well likable, not controversial. And I mean, maybe this is me, Woody, old man yelling at clouds, but it's like, hey, stick to football. I don't want to see Jason Kelsey at Augusta National.
Gone are the days of just Hannah Storm and Stuart Scott just leading the charge on ESPN. Like the most I watch Sports Center is like those 30 minutes leading into college game day during football season, and those two guys they'd have on there who are like, I say our age.
Gary Streski and I like them actually. They're really good.
Yeah, I don't like them. They're a little too metro for me. For my sports coverage on a Saturday, so it's not what it used to be. I used to love tuning in on a Saturday morning and watching Hannah Storm, my first crush, and
Notre Dame grad.
What's that?
Hannah Storm, Notre Dame grad.
Yeah, and now it's just a bunch of guys who are probably like social media majors in college who are making memes, and it's sad. And I think honestly, there's a lot of jealousy coming through me. I wish I had those jobs, but I don't. And it is what it is. But happy for them.
Happy for them. So we had anything else on the Masters, Braxton? Like the tournament itself?
No, I feel bad for Patsy because I know she didn't want Rory to win. She texted me.
You did mention this. I am very curious, Miss Patsy's disdain for Rory McIlroy, now two-time major champion, two-time Masters champion, back-to-back.
She does not like Rory. She texted me as soon as it was over and was like, I didn't want Rory to win. And then she said something to the effect of, Scotty just came on a little too late. He should have won it. And, I happen to agree. And it is what it is, and it's scary because if Rory played terrible golf today, but he still had himself
all weekend. He didn't play great.
Yeah, so it's almost like he got the weight off his shoulders, and now, but he doesn't help himself because he does the interviews where he talks about how he was coming into Augusta and flying private in to come play some practice rounds and skipping out on other tournaments, and it's just cheesy, man. He doesn't help himself at all.
It's just cheesy. What do you think of? I thought Freddie Couples, and I love Freddie Couples. He had a great quote that after Rory, getting to minus 11 was I think it was minus 11 through the first two rounds, 6-shot lead. He might never lose here again.
Yeah, I mean that's aggressive to say. Would be wild if that was the case. One thing about the Masters coverage that, as we're complaining about ESPN, no complaints from CBS. I was outside a lot today. I listened to the coverage, and I usually find myself on Sundays if I'm driving listening to like the golf tournament on Sirius XM. But the Masters coverage on the radio was phenomenal.
I was listening to that. You saw me. I was out trying my hand at fishing, and I was listening to the Sirius coverage.
The Sirius coverage is really good.
Yeah,
like it's nonstop. It's right on par with a baseball game as far as like listenability. You kind of lose some of the visuals if you don't know the golf course,
right?
Like understanding where they are in time and space of the shot. But with a place like Augusta National, pretty easy to follow along and kind of have your bearings. And it was a really good listen, actually.
We do have Miss Patsy. Hello, Miss Patsy. Happy Sunday. Chiming in the chat. He badmouthed Tiger a few years ago. And not a fan since. Scotty should have won it! ! And
my favorite part about this is Miss Patsy going to Tiger's honor and defending Tiger in this situation with everything that he has going on, still standing firm, and you don't badmouth Tiger Woods.
A ride or die of Tiger Woods. I appreciate that, Miss Patsy. Tiger Woods should probably never drive a vehicle again. That's a hot take from Woody, but I appreciate that.
He shouldn't have to. We should get that. Charlie should use some of his NIL money and get his dad a driver.
That's right. Like he could probably pay for have someone like you said on like 24-hour call. Also, there's a thing called Uber, and I'm sure Tiger has like an Amex Black Card where he probably gets unreal amount of credits each month. I know I get $15 credit just for being in the service. So I'm sure Tiger gets unlimited Uber credits.
I would say if the platinum gets you 15, the black probably gives you at least 100. I would say at least
I would
100.
hope. I would hope at least 100. And we have producer Kaylee in the chat. She enjoyed B&D bagels, or not bagels, B&D burgers. Burger was phenomenal, and she was really rooting for Scotty or Cam. So
She was just
go ahead.
She was just rooting for Cam because she thinks he's cute, and she thought like she was like pulling wool over my eyes. Like we know why she. What are we talking?
He's a handsome man. I do appreciate him being sponsored by Major League Baseball. Cool story there, where his dad belongs to the same golf club as Commissioner Manfred. And when Cam went pro, Commissioner Manfred was, "Hey, like, would you wear the Major League Baseball logo?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I didn't. I had the. You had more of the details. I was telling Kaylee the roundabout story of how he came to have the MLB logo on earlier, but yeah, I was just getting her closer into his arms by telling her the story. But yeah, I wish he could have won, and I mean, I would have been happy with him winning. I would have been happy with Rosie or Scotty. Really, I kind of anyone but Rory's type situation, but Rory pulled it off.
And she's saying they're both great family men. Yes, I know. Definitely. I'm not that familiar with Cam Young, but Scotty, absolutely.
Cam did an interview where they asked about his Sunday prep, and he said it's going to be different than no tournament Sunday, where we're going to find a church in the local area to go to prior to my tea time. And Kaylee's she's smitten.
Yeah, who was in contention was a good group of golfers. Rose, Lowry, Scotty. Let me pull up the leaderboard from Sunday, or sorry, from Saturday.
Yeah, all the big names.
Day, yeah, Jason Day, Sam Burns. Cantley, he can pound sand. I don't like him. He's got no personality. Russell Henley, good dude. So yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, it was a great Sunday.
So with Rory, back-to-back champion, he will host the Champions Dinner, which I think it's Tuesday night of Masters Week. Great quote from him when interviewed and asked about his menu, and was asked, "Now, why didn't you go a little more traditional Irish fare?" And Rory, he quipped, "Because I wanted to enjoy the meal," which is super funny.
Wow.
Because I would say traditional Irish food is not the most flavorful. But our first homework assignment that we gave each other from episode 35 was, if we were to host a Masters Champions dinner, what would our menu be?
Now I sent my fancy menu I had created to the production group chat, hoping to get posted. Did not. Maybe Kaylee can post that now on the story so people can follow along as I describe.
That was pretty good. Did you make that yourself, or that was pretty good AI? It was pretty realistic.
That was good AI prompt. By myself. But I'm going to tell you right now, to all the listeners at home, the premier Masters Champions dinner. And if I was able to don a green jacket one day, this is what I would host. And I think this will be a unanimous top choice by almost everybody. And if
we got to figure out how to do a poll or a vote on Instagram, because I'll send my menu as well. I'm confident mine's going to win.
Okay, so Kaylee can post both menus, and then we'll see who people would rather attend. I'll run through mine real quick.
So, you do yours first, or should we go like course by course, or just the whole, like, you're going to run through your whole menu?
I did an appetizer, a first course, main course, and dessert. Did you do the same?
Yeah, I have a welcome cocktail, first course, hot starters, salad course, soup, main, dessert, after dinner.
Okay, you're a little fancier than me.
Of course.
And I'll lead off with, we don't have a welcome cocktail. We have a bar that you can go get whatever drink you'd like.
People's champion, Braxton Lewis, the people's champion.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you go to my Masters dinner, you'll be first served a beautiful dish called, and this was coined at my dear friend Sam Colt's wedding, where I had about 20 of these hors d'oeuvres. But this would be a full-blown appetizer at my Champions Dinner. It's called the brisket on a biscuit.
Okay.
And it's pretty much what you hear is what you get. It's going to be Texas sliced brisket on a cheddar biscuit, or Texas sliced brisket on cheddar biscuit. It's going to be a light honey glaze on top of that biscuit as well. And you'll be able to go for about 20 of those.
Okay.
And for the other option, we're going to have raw oysters, which will be dried from the Gulf of America. They will not be steamed. They'll not be Rockefeller. They'll be raw oysters from the sea to your mouth from the Gulf of America. And those are the only two appetizers you need at my Premier Champions Dinner.
Okay.
With your opening course, Daniel.
Okay, so first, there, of course, as always, there will be a bar that anyone can get what they want, but the suggested cocktail for my meal, which is titled New England on Magnolia Lane, is called the Gold Rush, and this is a bourbon with fresh lemon and maple syrup.
Okay.
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 First course. I am also going with a raw bar selection of chilled oysters on the half shell. So yeah, not Rockefeller, not cooked, raw oysters, and it will be a selection of New England's finest oysters: Wellfleet, Island Creek, Mattanook oysters, and Beavertail from Rhode Island, and then Glidden Point oysters from Maine. So that's going to be the raw bar selection. Then there's also going to be hot starters, where we're going to have mini crab cake sliders and maple glazed bacon wrapped scallops.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I didn't salvage the whole sea for my oysters, but that sounds pretty good. The scallops, I'd be in trouble if those scallops were coming my way. I got a feeling my first course is a little lighter than yours. But for my first course, I'm going with a grilled chicken Caesar salad with a honey butter glazed croissant on the side.
That's good.
And emphasis on the chicken here in the Caesar. I want in my head, this is a full-blown like rotisserie style chicken.
Sure.
A lot of protein supplementing your Caesar salad.
I like that.
Okay.
Now, do you like a heavy anchovy Caesar dressing?
So I will actually have not live, but I will have actual anchovies on the salad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Am I up?
You're up. That's all I
Okay.
got for my first course.
So I have it's a salad soup combo. So the salad, it's going to be a butter lettuce and apple orchard salad, and that's going to come with shaved Granny Smith apples, dried cranberries, and Vermont goat cheese with a maple cider vinaigrette dressing. So very New England. And then the soup course, this is one of my favorites, a 50-50 Costello. And what that is, it's 50-50, half and half New England clam chowder and lobster bisque.
I got a bad feeling Kaylee's going to be at your dinner, not mine. I mean, that sounds great, Dan. I mean, every bit. I just want to eat that whole apple right now, just thinking of that salad. And I don't even like fruit on my salad. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
This might be where you got me, though. So I think I like leading up to the meal. I love my selection.
I'm full of
the traditional like entree, I don't think it's gonna be that popular. I'm gonna preface my entree with that, but I want you to go.
Okay, so for my main course, we're gonna have two options. First option will be a 10-ounce filet mignon with Papa's mashed potatoes, which if Kaylee does decide to attend my dinner, not yours, she'll be tasked with making those, and grilled asparagus. Now, not on the menu, but implied, like we will have like a genuine horseradish option and things for you to spruce up your filet if you decide. And our other option for our main course will be a blackened mahi with a pineapple salsa, sweet potato, and roasted broccoli.
That sounds delicious. So I also went. It sounds like. I mean, is it one or the other? You could get both. Because I have one.
Well, that's a good question because you see these guys put that on there, but they usually have a meat and a fish option.
Yes.
The Champions Dinner is pretty elite clientele. Right. I don't see you telling someone donning a green jacket they can't go for both.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty wide open. You get what you get. You can eat whatever you want.
So mine is not a choice. It's you're getting surf and turf. Like you're getting turf and surf on your plate. And this is where I think I'm probably going to lose people because it's not the most like, I guess, sexy like cut of meat. But this is for me like quintessential New England. It is going to be butter poached Maine lobster tail with drawn hot butter and steak tips, like marinated steak tips. So like not a fillet, not like a tomahawk or cowboy ribeye, but steak tips. And then sides, truffle mashed Yukon gold potatoes. We're also big fans of, we share an love of asparagus, so charred asparagus with lemon zest. And then on the side, warm brown bread with whipped honey butter.
I mean, that sounds pretty good, Dan. You'd be silly. You'd be a silly boy not to enjoy that. The steak tips, I'm sure the people we have preparing these meals are pretty top of the line. I feel like that could be a danger zone if not done well. But
right.
No, across the board, that sounds pretty delicious.
Okay. Now we're moving into dessert and after dinner. What do you got?
So for my dessert, I got two options. Of course, you can have as much as you want. Number one is a brownie fix. Now let me explain the brownie fix. That's going to be vanilla ice cream with a hot fudge and hot vanilla ice cream, hot fudge, brownie, chocolate brownie with whipped cream and a cherry on top. Hot brownie, hot fudge, cold ice cream, kind of just all going in there together. Or a warm chess cake.
I had chess cake at your parents when we had our epic Charleston weekend, and I want some chess cake right now. Miss Amy, is that something you could like ship? Does that ship well?
We would have a warm, gooey chess cake with a side, not on top of it, but you could have a side of vanilla ice cream if you would like to do a little hot and cold mix there. I thought that was a pretty safe call with the chess cake.
Can you, for our listeners, can you just describe what a chess cake is? Because I was not familiar with chess cake until I went to your parents.
It's golden brown, blonde, if you will, and it's gooey but cooked, and it's delicious. I don't know how to describe it past that. It's not cheesecake.
No,
it's not cheesecake.
Because I don't really like cheesecake.
It's not, and I think that would be the easier way of describing it, but it's not cheesecake.
No, it's much better.
It's not normal cake. It's just chess cake. And that's all I have. You're going to have to Google it, or my mom is going to have to make samples for people to really.
We're going to sign up Miss Amy Lewis to send out samples to our 27 followers. We're getting some good chatter in the chat from producer Kaylee. She is raving over both of our menus, Braxton. A real battle between the commonwealths of Massachusetts and Kentucky. She's loving the raw oysters, the maple glazed bacon wrapped scallops, and she is shocked that she has never had a 50-50 Costello.
Oh, Dan, breaking news. Kaylee this is off topic. Kaylee just got the email. Elliot has been accepted to her first ever full-on private school.
Congratulations to Elliot. That's fantastic.
She's an official Christian private school kid, so that's good for her dad.
It's a good night in the Lewis household. Yay.
Anyway.
So for my dessert, I have both a dessert and then a after dinner with like drinks meal.
I feel like this after dinner is just going to be a banging espresso with a nice little bourbon.
So yes, that's part of it. First I'll do my dessert.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple Americana, warm apple pie and vanilla bean ice cream with whipped cream.
Mm-hmm.
And then for after dinner, yes, it's espresso, espresso martini, regular coffee service with mini whoopie pies and maple sugar candy.
Yeah, I'm not going to make my wife put it in the chat, but I think you probably edged me out a little bit. And I'll tell you this, I feel like I've only done this at Italian restaurants, and I don't know why I don't do it more at home since I have a Breville. But the glass, like the neat double
Mhm.
of bourbon, having a neat bourbon and into like an Americano or some type of espresso type coffee to wash it all down is an elite play that we don't do enough in our society, I would argue.
Now I gotta look up the name for this, but I really enjoy it's a coffee and ice cream, and it is called Affogato al Cafe.
Yeah,
So
Kaylee.
it's like a scoop of ice cream in coffee. It's delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm right there with you. I'm starving now.
That was really fun. That was a fun homework assignment for us.
I worked on it all week. I had it in my notes, and I would be at the doctor's office or at work or in the restroom or something. And I was kind of working on my
Yeah, we got to
menu.
get your because I did your menu, your AI menu was it looked real. It looked like you actually got that like printed.
Yeah, it's legit.
It was legit. Yeah, so I'll have to make an AI menu myself, and we'll go head to head in the polls.
And what I want to be, this can be understated because I don't know all 27 of our subscribers, but if one of our 27 subscribers was a single lady, I think this really just shows Woody's ability to really understand and work a menu. And I think that translates to a night, which could translate to a lifetime of quality outings with the one and only Woody.
I appreciate that. I'm also I'm very passionate about where I grew up, New England and New England cuisine, and putting New England cuisine in the spotlight. And it's hard to beat, in my opinion. It's hard to beat.
No, I have no beef with New England.
Well, speaking of beef with New England, this is a great segue into our next ticker topic of the Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini Arizona rendezvous scandal.
Boondoggle.
Yeah. So I think it's important. I will say this. I'll preface our conversation with this: is there is no confirmation of extramarital affairs, just some compromising photographs that allegedly have been taken out of context. And because of the journalistic ethics of a reporter with an alleged insider source, Dianna Russini has been suspended from her role at The Athletic. And I think she also reports for NFL Network.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's set the stage. We're in Arizona for the coaches, owners type,
the team meetings. Yeah.
The boondoggle they have down there. They take the photo. Really, the only output is the photo, it seems. But they're 2 hours away or so in Sedona at a resort, and he's with his buddies. She's with the girlfriends, and
they're both married.
They're both married. They both have had previous interactions through legitimate official interview means, as far as her job and then his job, leading them to conversations that were aired on TV at various points, given their positions within their respective networks and football teams. With all of that said, some of their previous interviews have been dissected. And I think it's not fair to dissect those interviews now in hindsight, because obviously your mind's going to be clinging on to stuff maybe a little more than you would have previously ever thought of. But with that said, the photographs aren't great, Dan.
You're a
They're
married
at-
man.
yeah,
I don't see you doing that.
I talked to Kaylee about it. Because so the two photographs that I know that I'm referencing, and if there's more, please let me know, is the one of them poolside, and then the one of them the interlocked fingers.
Yes.
Almost as if they were dancing or like embracing the fingers.
Yeah, they were on
And
like one of those like the classic like bachelorette like show like scenic overlooks.
yes,
It was
and what I told Kaylee was, in Vrabel's, if there's any defense, the only thing that I could say is, I think we could all argue or agree that, let's say, you, Dan, are the head coach of New England Patriots, and I am, Christina, who works for CBS, and we're both married. And I have interviewed you a lot because you're the coach of the Patriots, and I'm a sideline reporter or whatever reporter.
yeah,
Yes.
media room every week, sure.
Yeah. We see each other at a resort, and let's say there's oh shoot, Dan, oh shoot, Christina, what's going on? Side hug, where maybe like we have both hands over shoulders, picture gets taken, we're smiling. I think we could all agree there's no malicious intent in what just happened, but that photograph could put you in very compromising position. And I think Kaylee's kind of responsive, and she can comment if she disagrees. I think she was pretty much like, yeah, I can see that. But the interlocking of the fingers is like a line.
It's pretty intimate.
It's pretty like it's a little more aggressive than maybe like a passive like hug or over the shoulder hug or something like that.
Yeah, producer Kaylee is commenting. Interlocking of fingers is a no.
Yes. I interlock fingers with only 4 women, and that's Kaylee and my 3 daughters. So
I was curious where that was going.
and I feel like, Dan, I don't know, when I was a kid, I was kind of taught, especially when I say I was taught, I feel like when you're like 12 or 13, there's this thing where like when you start going to the movies with the girl, and I don't guess kids anymore, but like if you held hands like this, that was like friend zone.
Sure.
And there's always an understanding that once you interlocked the hands, that was like, we might be. You
might be getting to second base.
Yes. So like it went from here to interlocked to like now we're pecking. We're pecking cheeks and lips.
I think that's right. I think that's fair. Yeah, and it's just the whole story is like as it's unfolding, interesting of allegations of like a private investigator taking these photos and they're being sold to the outlets. Rumor, I don't know if you heard about this, but Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, confronted Vrabel about this. And apparently Vrabel's response to Mr. Kraft was, I don't know why you're talking to me about this. You've done a lot worse. And that did not go well.
Yeah, I mean, Vrabel is Vrabel's a dude.
Yes.
And Vrabel doesn't. Now, to his defense, the Titans' ownership and general managing situations were always so piss poor when he was in Tennessee. So I was always at odds. Now, I think his relationship with Robert Kraft, given his playing background, is probably more positive, but it's pretty rich for a guy who has his former, Super Bowl Hall of Fame coach, future Hall of Famer coach, his 24-year-old girlfriend wearing shirts at the massage parlor, which he used to frequent. Talks about, being loyal and not doing
that was an illegal surveillance, by the way, at Orchids of Asia. The police in whatever county that is in Florida, they went beyond the scope of their warrant for that, just so we're all clear. So that was a Fourth Amendment violation. Robert Kraft's constitutional rights were violated, for the record.
But you would agree, for the record, pretty rich for Robert Kraft to give anyone advice on extramarital or just like sexually pure like acts.
I don't believe he was married at the time he went to Orchids of Asia. If we want to get into, morality and ethics and potentially financing human trafficking. Sure.
Sure.
But Robert Kraft was a widow at the time.
He was just
Sure.
looking for a connection. He was taken advantage of. Poor Robert Kraft.
His constitutional rights were violated.
I love the fact, and that's why I have respect for New England, is because you have this loyalty to Robert Kraft that I didn't know you desperately had, and it's actually really promising to see, and I appreciate.
I took an oath to the Constitution, Braxton. I took an oath to defend the Constitution. So when citizens like Robert Kraft, constitutional rights are violated, that's what I'm concerned about.
I hear the guise of the Constitution coming from the attorney in the show. However, attorney
you also
not,
took an oath to protect the Constitution.
I don't have a single sports figure in my circle of sports that I'm that loyal to, and I commend you on that.
That's just Boston sports.
I would throw Kentucky's AD or Alex Anthopoulos, the general manager of the Braves, under a bus on a short leash.
I mean, you should care as much about Robert Kraft's constitutional right violation. I believe you also took an oath. And you're a law enforcement officer.
Well, I was the one extending my scope. And it's really rich. I was, in my attempt to protect all these innocent women from being in this guise of just giving massages, but actual trafficking, I somehow interrupted. I somehow interrupted the alleged abuse of wealth, position, and power of Mr. Robert Kraft, and I apologize for that, Dan.
You should never apologize for that, but I appreciate it.
So anyway, fair or foul, Mike Vrabel's rendezvous with Russini down in Arizona.
It's foul. And then I am just both of their responses that was taken out of context, and they were with these larger groups of people.
They were
interesting, like crisis controlled. I get maybe there were other people there.
I gotta be careful. I don't have to be careful.
Yeah, be careful, please.
I'm just trying to think if I was in this position. What I say by if I was in this position, I wouldn't be in this position because I would not interlock fingers with a woman who wasn't my wife. But let's say like I said, same scenario. We see each other across the resort. We make eye contact. At this point, we have to engage because that's a friendly thing to do, because there's no reason that two married people of opposite sexes who have a professional relationship can't say hi and catch up. I think that's fair. I'm just trying to think, maybe there was a situation where she was like, I don't know, oh, what's that on your hand? And he was like, oh, I got this scratch. And she was like, here, let me see that.
Yeah, she was giving him some Neosporin that she just so happened to have on her hand.
But I
Sure.
I still think the play from both, especially the male side, you gotta fall on your sword and be like, I messed up. I should not put myself in that position to have interlocked fingers, or to be sitting next to her poolside while she's in a bikini, talking in an engaged conversation at the pool. Maybe I just should have avoided that situation.
I think that's right. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Them poolside, it could have, been like a wide lens camera, and it was cropped. But two of them, those lounge chairs next to each other at the pool,
it was pretty close quarters.
Yeah, it was close quarters, and so you're with the group of people. You're both with your separate groups of people, but yet you are that close together at the pool.
And that's not the only photo, and I think I'm interested to see. I haven't seen. Maybe you have. I didn't know that she actually was suspended.
Yeah.
If any official statements, or maybe do a FOIA request to see if any legal documents have been processed or began up in New England or wherever she resides from for divorce proceedings.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what the states
of
their marriages
we'll know
are.
when that happens, because Boston fans, as you said, are nuts, and we will have that paperwork probably pretty quick.
Oh, absolutely. If you, I remember back over like holiday block leave when former New England Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs was arraigned for alleged violence against his chef. There were many reporters outside of the Norfolk County Courthouse in Dedham, Massachusetts, trying to get a scoop on what was going on with Stephon Diggs.
You know what's sad, Dan, is I'm a Kentucky guy and I love the South and I want to live in Florida, but like I would be lying if I said I wouldn't love to go all in and be like a full time like Boston Globe like sports reporter on all Boston New England sports. But with that said, like I couldn't do the cold and I'd end up missing most of the football season, almost all of the basketball season into the playoffs, and 70% of the hockey season, which would not make me a good reporter. But I would love to go. I think oddly enough, even though I'm not a New England guy, I would understand that culture well enough to where I could assimilate pretty well.
I think so. I mean, it's so when we were together in Poland and you were listening to Matt Jones podcast like every night, and then every time we were, because we did a lot of driving across Poland, me and you. And I love that you would play Matt Jones because that is what New England sports talk radio is. And it's been like that for years. And we have two stations in New England. There's 98.5 the Sports Hub. That's like Westwood One Media, and then there's WEEI. Used to be AM 850, now it's FM 93.7, and it is basically 24/7 Boston sports talk, and it's similar to Matt Jones. Like you have Mike Felger. Mike Felger is not from New England. He's from Wisconsin. He's from Milwaukee. He's a Packers fan, a Bucks fan, a Brewers fan, and just hates on the Patriots. And he's just a lightning rod. And people call in and like, hey Felger, like F you Felger.
You know, and this is sad, but one of the things, and this just shows you that I'm, my age does not reflect my brain or my soul. About moving to Fort Knox this summer, what I'm most excited about is, I got Sirius XM, I got CarPlay, I got all of that, but the fact that I'll be Louisville market, but I'll be able to have just the AM dial truck radio to where I get in my truck.
You'll have terrestrial radio.
I don't have to use an app or anything. I can just get on the 680 WLAP or whatever. I think it's 1070 or 1080 in Louisville. Just have it on the AM dial and get the local radio. And here's the cool thing about being in the Louisville market is I'll get KSR, from 10 to noon. But from noon on, I'll get all the Louisville guys. I'll get, the sheriff, and I'll get all the Louisville talk shows. And like I will thoroughly enjoy listening to all the Louisville guys, especially as their basketball team's on fire right now. They just got 2 huge transfers today. But I'll get to listen to Louisville.
Oh, that's gonna make for an interesting Braxton listen to Louisville.
I don't even need my phone. I can leave my phone at home, just get in my truck and just listen to Louisville talk radio. And I'm gonna be I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, the local sports talk radio I listen to it like on my commute to and from work in the morning. I listen to Toucher and Hardy. What's up?
I think when I was at Fort Campbell, it was always I think I had 102.5 or 104.5 or something. No,
I'm still. So I have a like tune in radio. I'm listening to Boston radio.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, it's Toucher and Hardy in the morning, Zolak and Bertrand in the afternoon, and then Felger and Maz evening commute.
Now, I'm a real psychopath. I haven't done it down here. I don't know, maybe I just don't have a connection to this area, but when I was at Fort Campbell, like if we were driving around like a Friday night, like you can ask Kaylee, I'd get on the AM dial and I was just free copying. If we were driving like from Fort Campbell to Lexington, I was just free copying local high school football game coverages.
I love that. That's awesome.
I loved it. I mean, I'd catch 2 quarters and have to flip to the next town over because we lost like the frequency from that town. but I loved it.
Now moving back to Kentucky, Braxton, are you going to listen to a favorite show of this program, Tradio?
Trade. I don't know if Tradio's still on. I would love to, but so in line with talking about like KSR and that stuff. So where I'm going to work, you can't have your phone.
Yeah.
But I have radios. I have like 3 radios. One that my grandfather gave me, and then one that Kaylee got me, and they're dialed radios with the ears. So
Yep.
One of my first questions to the G2 or G6 or whoever when I get there and be like, hey, so good copy on the whole phone thing. Can you guys go through this radio and make sure give it a badge, because I need this radio in my cubicle so I can listen to KSR from 10 to 12 in my cubicle to be able to get signal, so that's something that I'm gonna have to work with.
We gotta have the Mad Hatter back on a special guest spot, talk Tradio. That was a fantastic episode of Woody Lewis Sports and You. I learned so much.
I've never been more at the edge of my seat I was high on medicine. No, I was in the field. That was before my
You're in the field.
No,
you were very active in the chat. I do remember that.
I'm just thinking about, dude, like if I could get an actual, I don't know why it'd be an issue getting an FM or AM radio like that into the office. If I could get that approved, like they're gonna be like, yo, who's like this new 80-year-old we got in here? And it's just like, old me just listening to KSR, just getting real animated. Because no one's from Kentucky there. They're you to like relax. Like you don't know what's going on.
I would think that like a one-way radio, like there shouldn't be any OPSEC issues with that. I would think.
We're talking a plug-in with 2 buttons.
Yeah. Right.
This way and that way. Or a dial.
Yeah. No, I don't think there should be an issue with that. That was fun. It's a good conversation about our love of. I love listening to the radio. I think I prefer listening to Red Sox games than watching them on the MLB app, except for Will Middlebrooks. I can't stand Will Middlebrooks, but other than that, the Red Sox broadcast is pretty good on WEI.
I got the Braves game on right now. They're the Sunday night game of the week, but we watched them last night on TV. But if there's a situation where if we got the girls down to sleep and like they had a 7 o'clock, first pitch, and Kaylee's like, let's go outside and like have a drink. Like I would enjoy that listening it to on the radio more than like inside watching it on TV. Because Brandon Ingram's great though. And I'm sure the Red Sox guy. Any of those top level dudes are really good.
That's what I'll do. Like I have a pretty cool like patio at my apartment, and I'll go out with my phone, a bourbon, and my book, and I'll sit out there on like one of the Adirondack chairs on the Cumberland, and it's a phenomenal evening.
Did you watch, Katie? What's that show we watched on HBO? The Fugitive, or it has Mark Ruffalo.
What's it called? Task. Good show. Dude,
I never loved a character more than him getting his same type of radio I'm talking about.
Yep.
Just getting his FM AM radio.
His Philly souvenir cup of Tito's.
Phillies Stadium Cup. Listening to the Phillies on the radio. Phillies Stadium Cup with vodka. Just sitting out in his back garden listening to the game. I relate to that. I love it.
Yeah. You're a law enforcement officer. Absolutely.
That's my spirit animal, Mark Ruffalo and Task. New season coming out, by the way.
Phenomenal show. I really enjoyed that. And I think I gave you a recommendation, Mayor of Easttown, another HBO show by the same writer-producer.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, that's got Kate Winslet. It's very good.
What did Patsy say in there about KSR? I can see a little bit of it.
Just not a KSR fan.
She don't like Matt Jones. No, I don't either. She's just smart enough not to listen. I have to listen. Matt bought a house this week, and you would have thought that he's 50, by the way.
Yes.
But he just bought his first home, and you would have thought that he was curing cancer with him figuring out how to get his water turned on at the home he just purchased.
And Kaylee says can't stand KSR as well. How do we you're moving back to Kentucky in Fort Knox, Kentucky? How do we take a war to Matt Jones in KSR. They're too entrenched. Woody Lou Sports and you.
Here's the thing about KSR. They're so accessible, Dan. They do remotes. And like me and my college roommate one time, we went to a remote during like spring break or something, and he actually won John Mayer tickets at the KSR remote. But like, these remotes they'll do it at a car dealership or they'll do it at some like brewery. And I went to one. Well, actually, the last time I was at Fort Knox before I drove to Fort Leonard Wood, I went to one on my way out up in Louisville. And I'm gonna go to remotes when I'm at Fort Knox. I'm gonna probably take like passes on Fridays to go to these remotes and like take Elliot and Ronnieville or something.
Okay. Well, you let me know, and we're gonna wear our Woody Lou Sports and you.
That's how you do it, though. We wear the gear. We wait until the crowd clears out. And we're like, "Hey, Matt Jones," you gotta call him by first and last name, and be like, "Woody Lou Sports and you's coming for you," and we just kind of start the war there.
Miss Patsy really going into Matt Jones. What can you expect from a Duke grad?
Duke
I got no comment on that, Miss Patsy.
I mean, how are you a Kentucky fan? You went to Duke. I don't care. I don't care where you went to law school. Because here's the thing. I could be a genius, Daniel. I could be a genius, and you could say University of Louisville, Tennessee, Duke, whatever, medical school is the best medical school.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't go to the best medical school. And I could have the cure to cancer. Just wouldn't go there. I'd go somewhere else. Even if it wasn't Kentucky, I'd go to an ally. I'd go to like Texas Tech. Somewhere where we have no beef. Like
no beef. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So, moving on to our second part of our homework assignment, you and I, we had the do out of getting caught up on Netflix's latest show, dating reality show, Age of Attraction. So I think we have both gotten to the same spot of Age of Attraction, and we must discuss.
All right. So kind of following up from last week, Vanel and Jorge are officially out.
Yes.
Jorge couldn't get through with the celibate thing. He was being a lawyer. He was lawyering, and he is a criminal defense lawyer, but he was talking to her as a combination of a lawyer and her father.
Yes.
And I knew that wasn't going to work early on. And he was not pleased with the terms and the definition of the word celibate, given what was permissible and what was not permissible in her definition of celibate, which ultimately led to the ending of their relationship. That was my perception of the ending of that relationship.
I think you're spot on. And it's, I don't know. They're like, they were the biggest age gap at 33 years, but they were just weird, in my opinion. Like Jorge was like a weirdly intense dude.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa, man, like you gotta, like, I get it, you're 60, but most 60-year-olds I know are like kind of chill, like, on the back nine of life. But he was just like, even like he had like his hand gesture, you can't see it, but he's like,
you might argue he was pent up.
yes. But he knew that. That's the other thing too that kind of rubs me the wrong way about like their promise room thing, is because like she is transparent about her celibacy. Apparently it was a fluid definition of celibacy, and I can see his frustration with like, what are we doing here? But he knew at some level that, like, she said she was celibate, so there's that. And then he never told her about his kids and his baby mamas. And I could, like, being in Vanello's shoes, it's just like, what the hell, man? Like,
It was, listen, and that relationship was never going to work from the time that he interviewed and said, I thought he was 42. When the poor girl thought that he was 18 years younger than he actually was, I knew this was never going to work.
Yeah.
Because that just shows a clear ignorance on at least one of their sides.
And it was probably a bad edit of the promise room and other stuff, of him being like, I don't want any baby mamas, like I'm not gonna have children like outside of marriage. So from that edit, it definitely, from Vanel's standpoint, I can totally understand her. Like, yeah, he doesn't have kids.
Well, I mean, yeah, they get to Whistler, wherever they're at, and they're asking her, and she's like, "Oh no, he doesn't have any kids. Like, he has no kids." And then it cuts to him. He's like, "I got to tell her I got these kids."
Yeah, and everyone else's mind just like, what?
What?
Like, how did you not talk about that?
So anyway, they're out.
What did you think
You know,
though? I have to bring up because I think like it was all the underlying stuff, but ultimately it was like some like weird altercation like on the street that like someone was like saying something to them and Jorge.
they didn't talk about us. Yes, and maybe I like fell asleep for 5 minutes, but I didn't see the altercation on the street. I
No,
don't
it
think
was
so.
not. It was
It
not
jumps.
in the episode.
It jumps to them talking on the couch, and she's like talking about how she was upset. The way I took it, and again, editing matters.
Yes.
The way it was painted on the show was like she was very upset that he like maybe got in a verbal altercation, and in his eyes, it was a clear like I was defending you with some.
Mhm.
It made something like some thug or like street person, like maybe home. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe some have a mental health episode. Like,
He was like, he's a criminal defense lawyer who's 60, so he's probably been doing this for a while. So like, I
yeah,
would take him at his word of like, he was like, I know these type of people. Like, that's how you got to handle it. And then even Kaylee was like, why is she mad that he protected them on the street? I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've missed like 30 minutes of content here, but they kind of
no, it cut to that like sitting on the bed together, and it was post altercation that we never saw.
right. I mean, and, maybe something that went off in her head was like the way that I was just protected was as if I was walking down the street with my own father, because this guy is 33 years old.
Yeah, or I don't. Maybe she has been of the upbringing or the mindset of like, hey, just walk away, ignore.
Hey, we're getting filmed for a TV show. Let's just like let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a film crew around us. Let's just get back to the hotel.
So not surprised at all that couple didn't make it. I am curious if Vanell has any regrets for not choosing Justin from Charleston.
I hope we run into Justin at a River Dogs game. That would be good for.
Should we try and find his like social media and like X tweet at Justin from Age of Attraction? Be like, hey man, Woody Lou Sports and you going to River Dogs game? Would love to see you.
You know this from your viewing of Southern Charm, and then like my parents like living there full time. Like Charleston's a small town.
Yes.
It's a very small, medium-sized town. So like the idea of running into Justin just organically is not out of the realm of possibility. Let
Yeah,
alone,
I would say he's probably one of the more eligible bachelors in Charleston. So
I thought that was going to help his chance. I mean, dude, we were just murdering the Guardians tonight. We couldn't hit the ball last night, and we had like 18 hits through 8. Sorry. I thought the prospect of, I think they kind of spoke about it earlier about like that, like her moving to him, like having Charleston as like the destination of the move. Like I feel like it should help you in the running of like the decision making process.
sure. Now, what did you think? So when we talked about it last episode, I thought they were going back to like their individual hometowns, but they were very much so like still in a bubble, living in a weird 1-bedroom, small apartment each in Vancouver, British Columbia. Got to bring up Teresa and John and the edit that they got of the carnal pleasure that Teresa was experiencing when they finally got out of the dating environment.
So just as a father, the idea of me being, how old is Teresa? 53, 54?
54.
The idea of me being 54, so I was 24, so that's 30 years. The idea of me being 54 and my oldest daughter being 30 years old, so my age,
Mhm.
and 54, and me being on a primetime Netflix show and them hearing the outside moans and even interviews post of lovemaking with someone younger than my oldest child. It's not healthy, and it's not sane. And if we're gonna go couple by couple, I'm just gonna go get ahead and give you my full spiel on John and Teresa to the point that I'm at.
Okay.
John, I think, carries himself very well for a 27-year-old. In overall regards, like, John is a mature 27-year-old male. Teresa is not a mature 54-year-old woman. She has gone full blown in this bubble. And again, I don't know if the producers told them, the biggest age gap gets to go to this thing. I don't know any of that. I'm glad Austin Riley finally got a hit. I don't know any of that. But the way she's acting like a schoolgirl, and she's making all this love, and things are great with my young beau, who's younger than my oldest kid and the same age as my second oldest kid. And then all of a sudden they say, hey, you have to meet families. And it's like a brick hit her, as if like this thought never crossed her mind of like, hey, we're going to be on Netflix where people can watch this on repeat a million times. They're like, oh my gosh, I got to meet family. And I don't know how my kids are going to feel and all this stuff. And she was getting mad at him for nothing. He didn't even say anything.
I would say he probably came out of that show the best, as far as being just a reasonable, rational dude, like mature beyond his years at 27. And I will say this too, like, I actually really like Teresa's kids, and I thought they handled the situation like pretty well.
I haven't met Teresa's kids yet.
Okay.
I have 2 episodes left, but I have met John's sister and mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so Teresa's reaction when they found out they're meeting the families, I thought was completely irrational and unhealthy. But again, to John's 27-year-old credit, I did find it interesting that, like, when he spoke to his mom and sister, Teresa was like, Teresa wouldn't tell them her age.
Yep.
Teresa wouldn't say she had kids. Yep. And John's mom was onto it with his sister, who's I think like 3 or 4 years older than John, his big sister.
Yep.
You could see the lights turning on back on in his brain, where he was like, he wasn't defensive. He was just like kind of being objective of the situation, and you could see like the wheels turning of like, yes, sis, this, yeah, I'm starting to see this a little more clearly now.
Mm-hmm.
This might just be a Netflix fling, and I probably need to cut Sling Load. And that was kind of like,
uh-oh. Do we lose Braxton? Oh no. Braxton,
Daniel,
you there?
I'm here. Are you here?
Yeah, you cut out briefly, less than a second.
Okay, we're good. We're screen. Good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're just going off John, Teresa. So another couple I want to talk about, who I don't feel like got that much airtime during the meet and greet phase, like prior to the promise room, was Vanessa and Logan. And I want to bring them up because talk about another, for lack of a better term, a horny older woman. And her wanting him like on night one to make a move, but he moved. They just moved. He was tired.
Vanessa has been engaged 4 times prior to the show.
Yes.
Which, good for her for recognizing that those 4 engagements would not be fruitful marriages and getting out of those, regardless of how she was able to get the off ramp. If it was her decision or theirs. Vanessa's crazy. She has
bottom line.
She has crazy eyes, crazy voice, and crazy demeanor. I knew she was crazy whenever he made the very like non-confrontational, just like we're having a conversation comment of like before they knew each other's ages, where he said, obviously you're older than me. And she like just stopped him right there. Like, what do you mean I'm obviously older than you? And it's like, sister, you're like 20 years older than this guy. Like, everyone can see it. Maybe you're a top specialist. Like, we all know. So I knew she was crazy then. I think she has this poor boy's scared for his life. I think he is petrified.
You need him to like blink 3 times if he's being held against his will.
I think he might be a hostage.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think maybe he values his chastity, if you will, and he was like, I already know this woman's crazy.
Yep, we're back, Braxton. We're back
All right.
live.
Sweet.
That's a good use of technical difficulty screen.
We always love getting to show how bad our technical difficulties are. We get to use the screen.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We're back. So yeah, we talked Vanessa and Logan. We'll close on Age of Attraction with my favorite couple, Andrew and Libby. Now you saw them and their friends, right?
Yes.
Let it rip, Braxton.
So this is the best part of the show. So Andrew is your age.
Yes.
And Libby is 22, which if you're last episode, I asked Dan how young he would go on a date. And I'm pretty sure the age was 22, 23. And what I'm hoping is after watching episode 4 or 5, whatever episode that was, that I would like a new update on how young you will date, because surely after that episode, your mind has been cleansed and there's been an update to your age range on the associated apps.
So I did. I saw the episode, and I texted our production chat with you and producer Kaylee of like, oh my goodness, the interaction of like her friends, like meeting them. They were at a brewery in Vancouver, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have never seen someone act more 23. And it was like sorority sister, like and I was like, oh man, she was doing pretty good before that happened.
And Kaylee pointed it out. She's like, one-on-one, the girl's pretty mature and easy going. But yes, like as soon as she saw her friends, they're like, "Oh my god, girl, you're lying!" Like, well, so they're obviously texting each other. She probably texted her, "Are you going to be here?" She's like, "No." Couple things.
Yes.
Libby's. One of the Libby's friend who was wearing the normal outfit, like she was a fine young lady. I think she probably has a lot of potential in life. The girl from New Jersey who had the 2 heart skin cutouts in her outfit with the headband, which Andrew had a killer line back in the hotel about the headband later that night. I've never met a more insufferable 22-year-old in my life. And my favorite thing that she said that maybe people didn't catch on to, but I think just added to the complete irony and ridiculousness of the situation, is when she said, "I'm going to be a therapist one day." So, and I was like, that's how you know the girl is too young, when you're 38 and you're a business owner and all these things, and your girlfriend's friend says, "I'm going to be this one day." That's how you know they're too young, because it should already be that if you've already been that in your life.
Yeah. So I will say I'm happy we're on the same page as far as criticism of that friend, because and I think Andrew handled it very well, but I would have just been like, who, like, what have you? You're like basically a embryo, like you haven't lived at all. Like, who are you to question like my life decisions?
I wish you would have been like, "Do you still pay your phone bill, or does your parents?"
Yeah.
So yeah, her friend was a lot, and
I try to be like sympathetic, like she's looking out for like her friend, but she just like when you're talking, and again, this is coming from a 37-year-old's perspective, but you can't come at someone that has
life experience that you know.
Yeah.
And I tried to give her sympathy from a different lens of the fact my sympathy was, hey, this girl's on TV. And this girl's never been on TV, and she knows there's cameras here, and people's reactions to cameras, I'm sure, are all different, just like in any situation that's new to them.
I'm sure the producers were in her ear too.
And like, I think she probably played it all up, maybe more than she is without the cameras. Wasn't a good look. Now Andrew's
It seemed to
friend-
come pretty naturally, though.
Yeah, well, yes, she was a natural. When Andrew's friends showed up, I told Kaylee, I was just laughing. I was like, "Dudes rock," because I think
they were they were so funny.
this
It's
was
like,
a
pay
good
me,
example
pay
of
me.
how I don't want to be rude to like our women listeners, but I think objectively, male friendships are just so much tighter than female friendships. Like the love and connection of male friends is, I just think it's an unbreakable bond and like a lot more, a longer leash, a deeper connection than like women do. And that's just my take. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think across the board. And when they when they interviewed his one friend, or they get over by themselves, and what was his name? Was Pierre? What was his name? I
I'm
don't
blanking
remember.
on his name, but I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
He looks at the other buddy. He's like, "All right, pay up." And
Yep.
the dude
Pay me. Was it like, wait, how old is she? It's like 22. Hey, pay
he
me.
said, "Pay up," and he was laughing. The dude was like, "Yeah, I told my other friend she'd be between 22 and 25 and blonde hair." And the other friend was like, "Yeah, he called the bet, so I just had to take the dark hair and over 25, so I was already at a loss." And he was like, "Hey, Andrew's consistent. What can I say?" I was like, "That's like that rocked." And then he asked the same question that we kind of alluded to. He was like, "Hey, does she have a job? Like, is she? She's 22." But they were supportive.
Yeah.
To a degree. They asked like they gave honest guy questions of like, "Hey, like, how's this gonna work with your kids?" Blah blah. But I think it just showed like just dude friendships are the best, and girlfriend friendships or something. And then they get back to the hotel, and he's asking how it went, and she was pretty honest. She's like, "Yeah, like
Yeah.
my friend, they don't hate you, they don't love you." And he was like, "Yeah, your one friend came with the sweatband ready to attack me." I lost it when he said that. I was like, "He has a."
That was good. Yeah, and we
Also,
got some from producer Kaylee. Friend with the headband was dressed like Baby Spice, and even funnier because he brings up the Spice Girls, and Libby's like, "Who?"
yes, and also, I didn't know if this was in jest, if she was making fun of him or being serious when she said that he needs Botox. I think he looks phenomenal for his age. So
I
do you
was
think
gonna
she?
say like his skin at 38, like maybe he is using Botox, like from like his like.
He looks, but I thought he has good skin. So
I
when
think
she
he has
said
good
like
skin.
he needs some Botox, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are we talking about?"
Yeah.
It looks great.
That was my as far as like the friends coming, that was my favorite for the exact same reason that you said. Like his buddies were like
It was
I
awesome.
like those are like my friends. Like just
Those are
super
good
funny,
dudes.
like busting balls. Like and I love
Good
it. So wait,
dudes.
so like how old is she? 22? Hey, pay me.
Yeah, on spot. Pay me. They had exchanged money right there. Oh man.
That's good. That's good. So we're actually we're going pretty good. This is time has flown, Braxton, on episode 36 of Woody Lou's Sports and You. I think we should wrap up with our Dodo Bird of the Week, our new annual award or weekly award, not annual.
Yeah. We kind of teased it at the beginning of the show. I'll be quick with this. My Dodo of the Week was Bryson DeChambeau and his bringing of Kevin Hart to the par 3.
It's a good
For all the
dodo.
reasons stated.
So my dodo is it's alluded to in our thumbnail of the week, and that is the Seattle Mariners unveiling of the Ichiro Suzuki statue.
Did you see?
And the bat breaks off.
Did you see the picture of the architect's face when it happened?
I don't know. I didn't see the architect's face.
So they have a video on the architect's face of when the bat broke, and it was just sad. I felt so bad because, like, this is a big deal for him, and he probably
Yes.
got paid an obnoxious amount of money for this. So obviously he's happy he got paid, but when you get paid this money, and we're talking about the Mariners like hero. This is the Mariners. Ichiro is the Mariners.
Yes.
Ichiro's there on ground, and you're unveiling his statue.
There's 3 statutes. It's Ichiro, Ken Griffey Jr., and Edgar Martinez. All 3 were there.
And a little bit of fabric is enough to break your bat. That's not a good look, dude.
I love it. It's why Ichiro's the best, though. He made a great joke about how, Mariano Rivera, like, he must have shown up
found a way
because
to break my back
notorious
one
for
more
the
time.
cutter, like, breaking bats.
Yeah, Ichiro, I love Ichiro. What a
Ichiro rocks. He is the best.
bat.
So yeah,
how
my
many-
dodo is just the Seattle Mariners for the Ichiro bat.
You know a guy rocks whenever you know him by his first name only.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, guy rocks. But yeah, I felt bad for that dude. The picture of him when it was unveiled, like I felt so sorry for this guy. Like
I gotta find this picture.
Oh, it's so sad because he takes so much pride in it.
Yeah,
Like
let me
obviously,
see. So what is it? If I Google like Ichiro statue architect picture.
Yeah, reaction or something, and it's very emotional. It's like he's watching like his family die. It was very sad. It was very tragic.
Oh, this is so funny.
It's really sad. Dude.
The best part is too, like Ken Griffey Jr. and Ichiro are like trying to like not die laughing like as it's happening, and yeah, this guy is like he's like in mourning.
Yeah, it's very traumatizing.
It's like the Pope's funeral.
Yeah, and for like Ichiro and those dudes, like he knows the bat's gonna get fixed. He knows he's still Ichiro, so like it's not. I'm not saying maybe he wasn't like, oh come on, dude, you couldn't get my bat not to break over the fabric, but
Sculptor Lou Sella's reaction to the bat breaking. Poor guy.
Poor guy, dude. Oh man. That was his baby, and he broke the bat.
That's too funny. Well, Braxton, we're almost at the hour 30 mark. A great show. Do you have any final thoughts?
Not great week. I hope we have the Braves got another series win, so we haven't lost a series all season. And looking forward to catching up next Sunday.
Yeah, no, and as far as baseball goes, like the Red Sox, back-to-back wins against the Cardinals, decisive victories, won the series. So hopefully they're on the up and up. But time will tell. In close, as always, thank you to our award-winning listeners. Please don't forget, as always, to download, like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate it, trying to grow the brand in Woody Lou Sports in You. So everyone, have a great week.